animation adaptations. Books we've read that we want to see brought to the big or small screen that we think it would be best done animated, so not live action. The Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. More specifically, Out of the Silent Planet and Perelandra. Now, that's only 2 books out of the trilogy, but to be completely honest, the third one takes place all on Earth. So, and when we read it, we personally felt that it didn't actually add much to the story and the trilogy overall. If you never read the books, here's the basic storyline. So in the first book, the main character is basically kidnapped by the 2 bad guys. He's brought to Mars, he escapes, and he basically runs wild on Mars for a little bit before encountering a lot of the local inhabitants. The local inhabitants, they kind of represent kind of like walruses or like otters or like kind of weird ants. And then you also have like kind of strange like monkey-like creatures almost. Those are the native inhabitants. And so you get all these like really kind of dramatic, like big open, wide open landscape areas. So we figure all that it would probably just be CGI'd if you're going to make a movie. So why not just go on full out animation? Now, of course, this is a C.S. Lewis book. So again, this is all tied into the story of creation and Genesis and good versus evil and the battle between good and evil. But all that on a solar level. It's not just about Earth. It's about Mars and it's also about Venus. The second book, Perelandra, takes place all on Venus. Venus basically is Eden before the fall. So again, it's just beautiful and perfect. You got a lot of gold and like patterns and lush nature. You have so many creatures out there. You have like the dragon Leviathan creatures here. So again, big open landscape areas that you'd probably have to CGI anyway. So this is also another reason I say make it full-on adaptation. So remember, Perelandra is the Garden of Eden before the fall. So any human or humanoid beings, they don't need clothes. The female character is the Venus equivalent of Eve. So yes, you basically have a naked female figure in this book the whole time. And again, they're all green. I almost imagine kind of like a green Mystique, but again, all completely covered in green. I'm sure there are some actresses out there who would really tough it out and might even welcome the challenge of being completely covered in green for weeks and weeks on end. But I'd say let's not put them through that. So, and then also the male character. Yeah, the male character would basically be naked the whole time anyway. So it's like, do we really want to put anyone through that? The first 2 books of the Space Trilogy from C.S. Lewis, we want to see that brought to the big screen in animated format. Next up, The Poppy War. Oh, yeah. We mentioned this one in the 3rd Rosary and Geek Talk, Cool Fantasy Magic System, so check that one out as well. I know, another shameless plug. Really, what we want to say about this is that this is the adult successor to Avatar. Because again, Avatar The Last Airbender. So, again, you have all the people who watched Avatar The Last Airbender as a kid. Now they're grown up, and so they can handle more adult content, more serious, heavy stuff. And then you also have the people who, like me, who've only recently joined the fandom, and and they can handle some more like intense, deeper, more kind of adult level content. So the world is Nakara, and it's based off China and the storyline. And the storyline is based off like Chinese history and like the military history. So you're gonna get that distinctive Asian aesthetic. If Shang-Chi and Crazy Rich Asians has proved anything, it's that, yeah, audiences will go for like, Asian-led cast and that sort of thing nowadays. This is serious stuff. War, there is very much war. And Poppy, yeah, there are drugs in there. You don't have to worry too much about, say, all the death and the gore, making that live action. And okay, now the cool part, there are shamans with like some serious abilities here. You would probably be using CGI to show them in action and using their abilities, or more accurately channeling the abilities of the spirits of the gods. You'd probably be doing that in CGI anyway. And there would be some massive set pieces, epic scale. It is also a new series as well, so I think that would be really interesting world. Maybe get people more involved into more modern fantasy. The Temeraire series from Naomi Novak. So, the Napoleonic War with dragons. That's the pitch right there. There are lots of dragons in these stories. Lots and lots of dragons all over the world, all different shapes and sizes and colors and abilities. There are those that breathe fire. There are those who spit acid. The main dragon, Temeraire, has something called the Divine Roar. Basically, the roar uses the sound waves to it can just crush things. Just completely tear things, completely make them fall apart. And yeah, so again, this is an alternate world where dragons not only exist, but humans also breed and train them, and most likely for war, especially in like the Western world. But this story just doesn't just take place in Europe. They also go to China. They're also going to South Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. I'll say they go to Australia, Peru, and oh, by the way, the Incan Empire still exists in this alternate world. Again, they would be recreating a lot, so I say just make it all, just make it all hand-drawn. Now, you can actually make this fairly family-friendly. Yeah, you can kind of think of How to Train Your Dragon if you really want to, just like on a world scale. That's all we got. Hope you enjoyed it. So again, if there are any books that you want to see brought to the screen and that you think would be very well done, doesn't have to be, but very well done in animated format, please put it in the comments section, put it in the chat. We want to hear from you.